Hi everyone, welcome to the next video in our cross-country planning series. So we filled out most of the information on our navigation log at this point. Next step is to determine some airport information. So in the box labeled airport diagram, we want to draw a rough sketch of what our destination airport looks like. The TPA is our traffic pattern altitude, ELEV is the airport elevation, and then obviously our frequencies along the side here for both our departure airport and our destination. So to get all of this information, we would need to refer to the chart supplement, which was formerly known as the Airport Facility Directory, or AFD, now called the chart supplement. You can buy a paper copy of the chart supplement. For most locations it's a green, small green book. It does expire every 56 days, so you do need to replace it rather frequently. Otherwise, you can get the chart supplement on the FAA's website, and you can also get the chart supplement on various apps such as ForeFlight, which is what we have open here right now. Still, for those not familiar with ForeFlight, ForeFlight is basically a flight planning app for the iPad. I think various other tablet devices as well can also run ForeFlight. But so ForeFlight has sectional chart information on it. You can overlay airspace. You can see the TFR, the Air Force Base, it's overlaid there right now. You can also overlay weather. Let's see if we can get some weather in there. Not a lot going on around North Dakota today. If we zoom out a little bit more, maybe we'll see some interesting things. So it looks like there's some weather out out on the East Coast, out near Virginia, West Virginia area. So those are obviously just a few of the capabilities that ForeFlight can handle. But for today, we want to look for a chart supplement. So to find the chart supplement, at the bottom of your ForeFlight page is a button labeled Documents. So we're going to click on Documents, and then we are going to click Add Document, and we're looking for an FAA. Might be hard to see. There we go. It's a little bit better. We're looking for an FAA document here, which will be the chart supplement. So we're on the FAA tab, and right here is labeled Chart Supplement. And if we want to know the information for Brainerd and Grand Forks, we would look at the North Central Chart Supplement. So the North Central region includes North Dakota, South Dakota, and Minnesota. I think it might also include Iowa, but I don't remember exactly. So we'll go ahead and download that North Central Chart Supplement. Okay, so green check mark means it's downloaded. We'll click close here. There we go. So you can kind of see the states that are covered. Quite a few states are covered by that North Central Chart Supplement. And one of two of those states are the states that will be flying across. So we're at the right place. So for our airport diagram, again, we want the airport diagram for our destination airport, which of course is Grand Forks for our particular flight today. So the chart supplement contains a wide variety of information, lots of stuff available in the chart supplement, but for us we are more concerned with the airport page. So here we have started to get into kind of the biggest part of the chart supplement, which is the airport information. So right now, if we look at the top of the page, it says we're in Iowa. So we are not concerned with Iowa right now. We're going to keep going until we find North Dakota at the top of the page. Alright, North Dakota, finally made it. So all the airports here are listed in alphabetical order, so we're obviously looking for G for Grand Forks. There's Fargo, Grafton, Grand Forks Air Force Base, Grand Forks International Airport. So on this page we have a airport sketch, which is a fairly rough diagram of the Grand Forks International Airport, and that's all we really need to place our airport diagram on the nav log. So if we come out to our nav log here, in this box, we can go ahead and draw a rough sketch of the airport. Now, because we're using two nav logs here, I think it might be a better option to actually use the second nav log for this sketch, because as we approach Grand Forks, we will be using the second nav log here. So let's make that sketch on this particular nav log instead. So really all I'm drawing here is just the general runway layout. Of course, we're not looking for artistic perfection by any means. Okay, and then I'm going to label those runways. And if you wanted to add other features, you're certainly welcome to do that. Perhaps if you wanted to indicate where you need to park. So obviously our ramps would be somewhere over here, so you can put a star or an X right there for the parking location. But really just the idea of this is that you have an idea of what the airport looks like, so as you approach the airport during your cross-country flight, you know what features to look for and what layout to look for. So if we go back to our chart supplement, we can determine the traffic pattern altitude and the elevation, which being it is Grand Forks, hopefully we already know that, but our elevation here in Grand Forks, this first number here is 845. TPA's traffic pattern altitude, it says see remarks. So in the remarks section here, near the bottom here, we see that it says TPA is 1645 or 800 feet AGL, and we really just round that to 1600 for the most part here in Grand Forks. So we'll call that 1600 feet and elevation 845 feet. Okay. Other things that we can put here, so we can put our arrival frequencies. I would again recommend putting the arrival frequencies on the second navlog here rather than the first navlog, since the second navlog is what we're going to use to arrive at our destination. So again, the chart supplement lists the frequencies in Grand Forks. Right down here under communications, so we've got the tower frequency, the approach frequency, the flight service frequency. Grand Forks Radio is the flight service station. We got the ATIS frequency, and we have ground frequency as well. So we can start to fill in some of these frequencies. Now, we know, having operated in Grand Forks, that there is an additional approach frequency that is not actually listed in the chart supplement here, and that is 132.3, which is the VFR frequency for Grand Forks approach. We're going to put in 132.3. If you didn't know that, so if you were not local to Grand Forks and you arrived into Grand Forks and talked on 118.1, they would likely either just keep you on that frequency, or they may provide you that 132.3 frequency instead for you to switch to. So next frequency is ground control. Okay, try to make that, maybe I'll rewrite that number there to make it a little bit easier to read. That's better. Okay. And then our flight service station, FSS. So that's 122.2. And might be a good idea to write the name of that flight service station, it just happens to be Grand Forks Radio in Grand Forks. Grand Forks Radio covers most of North Dakota, so if you were to fly to Fargo, you would also be contacting Grand Forks Radio as your flight service station. And then last thing is CTAF. Now CTAF is a common traffic advisory frequency, which is most common at non-towered airports, which Grand Forks is a non-towered airport between the hours of about 11:30 p.m. At night until 6 a.m. in the morning. So if that were the case, then we could put 118.4 in that CTAF frequency, but since we're arriving when the tower is open, there's no need to put anything there's a blank box here, and you can add any additional frequency that you may feel is necessary, maybe perhaps a center frequency if you wanted to receive flight following, or you could also put a Unicom frequency, which you would use to contact the FBO. Whatever you want to put in that box, it's up to you. So now if we go to our first nav log, we also need our departure frequencies as well. And now because we have two nav logs, if you wanted to, you could put your departure airport in this box in the track pattern altitude and elevation. So we might as well do that just for the purposes of learning here. So we'll go back in our chart supplement and try to find our departure airport at Brainerd. There we go, Brainerd Lakes Regional Airport. So we can go ahead and copy that sketch since we have two nav logs. Now if you only have one nav log, the only sketch that you should put in here is your destination. But since we have two, you can use one for the departure airport and one for the destination as well. If you wanted to, you could also add maybe runway lengths and widths that are listed on that sketch in the chart supplement. Again, you can mark your parking location, or in this case the location where you'll be leaving from. Okay, our traffic pattern altitude in Brainerd is 2232, and the elevation is 1232. So we'll say the elevation 1232, and we'll go ahead and round that traffic pattern altitude maybe to 2,200 feet. 2,232 feet might be a bit difficult to maintain. So. Okay, next thing we need to fill out is our frequencies for Brainerd, which is of course our departure airport. So Brainerd is a non-towered airport, so we have a CTAF frequency of 122.7, and Princeton Radio is the flight service station on 123.65. You can also contact Minneapolis Center on 118.05 if you wanted to receive flight following. So flight following is basically a service that ATC can provide to VFR aircraft on a time-permitting basis. Essentially, you receive similar services as you would if you were IFR, but again, that is on a time and workload permitting basis, and you're still responsible for your own VFR traffic separation. But it's a good service to use. Someone's keeping an eye on you, and you're communicating with somebody at all times, so it's nice to have those other set of eyes on our flight. But it is completely optional, so you don't have to use the flight following service if you prefer not to. So we'll go ahead and put some of these frequencies in. We also have an ASOS frequency of 126.775. So we'll put that in the ATIS column, even though it's not technically an ATIS, it serves the same purpose. In the tower, we don't have a tower, because it's non-towered. There's no approach control. There's no ground control. There's a flight service station, 122.7, and we said that was Princeton. So you can write that wherever you feel is appropriate. CTAF frequency. Well, looks like we did that. That was the wrong frequency. I'll pay a little closer attention there. So Princeton radio is on 123.65. So maybe we'll write that here. Princeton 123.65. CTAF is 122.7. Here we go. And if we wanted to put Minneapolis Center, we could do that right here, and that is on 118.05. Okay, so now we have pretty much everything in our navlog filled out. Everything that we can fill out is now filled out in our navlog. Last step in our cross-country planning is to fill out our flight plan form, which we will do in our next video.